Hi, everyone. It's Heather Burkart with Her Wellbeing, Ayurveda, and Yoga. Welcome. Today, I'll lead you in a full moon practice that's geared towards Sagittarius. For the Sagittarius full moon, Sagittarius is a fire sign. So there's a lot of passion and fire here present in our environment, internally, externally. And Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. This is a big, expansive planet that nudges us along our personal growth journey, nudging us towards that connection with spirit, to think bigger than what we are physically, materially. So join me in this practice. You might like a couple of blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can use a couple of firm pillows. And I have some extra pillows here just in case for some padding. I should also mention that Sagittarius is associated with the solar plexus. So we'll also be focusing on this area as well. So we have this beautiful junction of our power center, our control center, and also Sagittarius rules the stability of our low back and hips, but also the mobility of our the bigger bones of our legs, our thighs, the thigh bones, and also those big thigh muscles. And for those who are Sagittarius, you might have vulnerabilities in this area, or for anyone around this full moon. So this is a good practice to build strength and to build that solar energy naturally, gently. Let's get started. We'll start by first, I'm going to set my timer. Start in tabletop position. I like to use my blocks here stacked under the shoulders, like so, and my knees walked back under my hips. Taking a couple of breaths in and out here. Draw the belly up and in as you roll the pelvis back. So we're looking for that neutral pelvis to begin in tabletop pose. On your next inhale, roll the shoulders back, soft elbows, lift the heart. Exhale, round the back, tuck the tail, drop the head. Just like that, breath by breath. The arms are soft. There's a gentle rocking, lifting the heart, and then curling the whole spine. Inhale to lift and lengthen, gazing forward. Exhale, tuck the tail, round the back, let the shoulders separate. A couple more breaths like that. Just articulating and warming up the whole spine. Opening up the shoulders. Good. And then tucking the toes, sink the hips back. For child's pose, walk your blocks or your hands forward to really stretch the whole torso here. We'll take a full Durga pranayama breath. On your next inhale, breathing into the belly, ribs, and finally upper chest. Exhale to release. We'll do that once or twice more here. Inhale into the belly, ribs, and chest. Exhale and let it go. Coming forward once again. This time we'll work with some twists. Gently twisting to the right as we take the right hand to the right hip, opening the chest, just like that. And then over to the other side, hand to the hip. This time you might even draw that elbow back. Think of the archer of Sagittarius, like you're pulling a bow. Bring that elbow straight back. And then over to the other side, opening the chest. Do that once more to each side. If you want, you can lengthen the arm out away from you, looking back towards that hand. And over to the other side. Good. Coming back and tucking the toes behind you. We're going to come forward with the right foot outside of the right hand or block, like so. We'll do that same cat-cow tilting, this time with the right leg forward. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, bring the heart through. Lift the gaze, exhale, round the back, and begin to lengthen the front leg as much as that feels comfortable. This knee stays soft, bowing forward. Inhale, rock forward, lift the gaze, open the heart, exhale, and glide the hips back. You can sit the hips back as far as it feels comfortable. Inhale to rock forward. Exhale, rocking back, and you bring your blocks with you. Inhale to rock forward. And exhale, and releasing back. Good. Coming forward, we'll switch legs. The other foot comes forward outside of the hand or the block. You can bring the blocks a little higher if that feels good. Leaning forward, lifting the gaze and the heart. Exhale, lean back. Let the left leg lengthen. Remember, my back toes are tucked for support. Just starting to warm up the spine and the hips now. Even getting into these hamstrings a little bit. So be really gentle, as hamstrings can be tight. Couple more times like that, flowing with the breath, rounding the back as much as it feels right. Last time here. And gliding the hips back. Nice. We'll come back to tabletop pose. Take a moment to stretch it out in downward facing dog. I like to keep the blocks under my hands. Coming up into plank pose first, push the ground away, draw the belly and in, take a breath in here. And then as you exhale, lift the hips high, press the heels down towards the ground. And stretch out the backs of the legs here. You can paddle the legs, paddle the feet. Breathe into that stretch there in the back of the legs, back of the hip, even low back area. So we're getting everything really juiced up here and warm before we start working with some bigger movements. Coming back to plank pose once again, working with that solar plexus, our core and power center, drawing the belly up and in. Push the ground away, push into those blocks. And then exhale if you want. There's a little up dog here. Exhale back to child's pose. Once again, coming up, plank pose. Take a breath in here. Maybe you want to hold a little longer whenever you're ready. Taking another breath, exhaling and stretching it out. Downward facing dog, paddling the feet a little bit. Take your time with this flow. Come back to plank pose once again. There is a little baby up dog here if you want to put your knees down. Open the chest. Take your time moving back and forth between downward facing dog and plank pose. However you like to transition through. You might even come through child's pose if that feels more appropriate. Okay, using those blocks to really support the wrists and the hands one last time. Oops. Coming into plank pose first. Maybe holding here for another breath or two, drawing the belly up and in. Exhaling into downward facing dog. Stretch it out. And then bringing the knees back down and resting in child's pose. Take a few moments here. You can leave the blocks here to help stretch into the shoulders. full belly breaths here. If you want to take full Durga pranayama breaths, you can too. That's a three-part breathing. Breathing into the belly, the ribs, and the chest all in one long inhale. And then exhale, release. We're going to come up once more into downward facing dog. Take your time. Moving slowly, mindfully, reach into the hands, press the hips away. If you want, you can come into three-legged dog here. We'll start with the right leg. Reach, reach, reach that foot away. Doesn't matter how high that leg is. Get some sense of length as you reach, and then on your next breath, swing that foot forward. Foot comes out to the outside of that front block or hand. Okay, so similar um, movement here, landing in high lunge pose. So from here, you're welcome to rise whenever you're ready on your next in-breath, taking hands to the hips, and really working on strengthening the legs. Make sure you feel really steady here. Your feet are not too wide. Good. And then you might find goddess arms here, maybe arms behind the back, interlacing the fingers for a gentle bind, bringing the shoulders together in the back body, and breathe. Good. Keep the breath flowing. If you want, you can lengthen this front leg and then exhale and bend it again. Just like that a couple of times. Good. Strong legs. And then bringing the hands down, step back to downward facing dog. Other leg rises in three-legged dog. Take your time. Reach, reach, reach that foot away. Take another breath, and as you exhale, swing the leg through. Step the foot forward outside of the block or hand. Get nice and low, and you're low. This is actually a high lunge as we keep that back knee off the ground. Know that at any time you can release that back leg down for a little extra support here. When you're ready, on your next inhale, rising, hands to the hips, and just settling into this powerful pose. Breathe. Arms can be out to the sides, goddess arms, or behind the back. Opening the chest, whatever feels good here. Nice. And then we're going to take hands to the hips, pivot that back foot, the heel comes down to the ground. Let me adjust my camera here just a little bit. Okay. So here we are. I know you're already holding. Breathe if you want. You can lengthen out this leg just for a bit. So here we are in side facing warrior Virabhadrasana. Hips are not now facing towards the long side of your mat. You can reach the arms wide. Take a moment to reach the fingers away. Take the arms behind the back. And now face the front leg. Take a breath in here. Exhale and lean forward. And you can lean against that front leg as we stabilize here. If you want, you can bring the arms, raise the arms up a little bit behind you. Let the head go. Breathe. And then when you're ready, slowly come up, reaching the arms out to the side. Okay, we're going to do that to the other side, turning down towards your blocks. If you want, you can stretch it out in downward facing dog. Take your time, come down to child's pose if you prefer a more restful grounding pose. Good. Now we're going to bring the right leg up. Take a breath in here, three-legged dog. Swing it through, step that front foot forward. The right foot outside of the block, I'm going to go to this side so you can see me as I make that transition into side facing warrior. Coming up, take your time, pivot the back foot so that the heel comes down to the ground, the toes are pointing away from you. Hips open here to the long side of your mat. You can reach the arms out to the sides. Maybe lift the palms to help the shoulders relax. Good. And then when you're ready, take the arms behind the back. Orient yourself towards the front of your mat. Take a breath. Exhale, lean forward. Lean against that front thigh and reach the arms back behind you, away from your waist. The back of the neck is long. Lots of space in between the shoulders and the ears. Keep the breath flowing here. And slowly make your way up. Good. Nice. And if you want, we can straighten out that front leg a little bit and bend it again. You can do that a couple of times. Good. Nice. And then in this next movement, we'll turn body towards the ground once again. Step back, downward facing dog or child's pose. So honor where your energy level is at this time. Maybe you'd like to bring the knees down, stretch the arms out in front of you, use the blocks to get long, long in the torso. Release the forehead down. A couple of gentle belly breaths here. Make sure if you're using blocks that they're shoulder distance so that you're not squeezing your shoulder blades together. You feel lots of space in between the shoulder blades and your back body. Good, coming up. All right. Now stretching into the inner thighs a little bit. I'll face you here. We'll start with the right leg outstretched. I like to face the long side of the mat so that I have my foot on my mat. Blocks or tent hands can come down in front of you as you sink the hips back and reach the arms forward. Point the toes towards that same long side of the mat. Breathe here. Feel that gentle compression of the thigh against your abdomen. Breathe into that. Stimulating our solar plexus area. Big breaths in and out here. Cleansing breaths. Good. We'll do the other side. So make your way over the other side of the mat. Left leg extends away from you. My toes pointing towards that same long side of the mat, using the blocks or not. Sit the hips back, reach the arms forward. I'll give you a side view here so you can see what I am doing. Sinking the hips back. So it's like child's pose, combining gate pose and child's pose together. The leg is stretched out to the side. Good. Let me get this nice compression against the thigh. Good. All right. Coming up slowly, take your time. And I'm going to face towards you, but you can face any way you want. Working with, did it not? Oh, my timer did not start. Great. Okay, well, we're just going to keep going. All right. So fire log pose is a fantastic pose for this full moon because it really helps to stretch. Let's see here. It stretches the hip flexors, the glutes, even the piriformis, which is a muscle that is kind of tucked in there along with everything and it can get squeezed. So we want to stretch these areas to create more space. where space can feel really tight. So freeing up the hips a little bit. Grab your blocks. You might want to sit on a little pillow, just the front edge of that pillow, so that you're supporting the back side of your pelvis. So a couple of options for fire log pose. You can do this in simple um, cross-legged pose, or you can take, let's say, your right foot and stack it on top. Okay, so now because I've got a lot of space under this right knee, I'm going to pad that, fill that space with a little bit of support, a little blanket there, or a pillow. I'm going to scoop back a little bit here, taking a breath in, and then as you exhale, hinge forward. And you can use the blocks to support your arms. Take a few breaths here. Lengthen the whole torso. Feel your abdominals moving as you belly breathe, drawing the belly in towards you at the end of that exhalation, and then feeling the whole belly expand on the inhalation. Breathe into the stretch. Good. Now slowly making your way up, and we'll switch legs. If you're doing cross-legged, come in a cross-legged, choosing the other foot in front, or use the other foot and stack it on top of the opposite knee. Again, I've got a little bit of space here. I'm going to pad that with a pillow here, just so there isn't as much pressure there. Good. Grabbing your blocks, walking them forward away from you as you forward fold. Breathing here. Extend the torso. As you breathe, draw the belly in at the end of the exhalation. Let it expand on the inhalation. Let your whole body breathe into this pose. It can be fairly intense. So back off a little bit if you're having trouble breathing. That is a good sign that maybe you've gotten beyond your edge. On your next inhale, slowly walking yourself up. I'm going to put my blocks back at the front of my mat for one last hip stretch here, hip opener. Okay, so coming back to tabletop pose, using the blocks once again. What I'll do is drag my right knee forward behind the right block. And I'm going to tuck that foot, the right foot underneath me, tuck the back toes of my left foot and walk my leg away. Now, this is a great place to pad a little bit under that right hip. See, there's a lot of space there. You're welcome to stay up high. You're welcome to shift that back foot away just a little bit to bring the hip down, whatever feels comfortable for your hips and your knees. Bringing the blocks in front of me a little bit so that I can be a little bit forward leaning. Okay, taking more of that back bend out, especially for those who have some low back pain. That was a variation of pigeon pose, Kapotasana. So you can hang out here, or you can come forward, bringing elbows down onto your blocks, or maybe all the way down to the ground. You choose your shape for Kapotasana. If this does not feel accessible to you this morning, that is okay. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, that is okay. Instead, try bending Let me move this for a minute. Bend the back knee, set your hips down, and let yourself face out to the side a little bit. I'll show you what that looks like from the front. So instead of here, bending the back knee and staggering the legs. Okay. So from here, then walking yourself forward. This is this is the same stretch. It's just that our back knee is bent. Okay. So again, find the shape that works for you. So let's say we're using bent legs. Inhale, just slowly walk yourself up. If you want, you can stretch it out in downward facing dog one more time. Tuck the back toes, lift the hips, step that front foot back. Give the whole body, especially the legs, a good stretch here. Maybe just breathing as you hold. Breathe into the stretch. Now we'll bring the left knee forward behind the left block or your hand if you're not using blocks. Tuck that left foot underneath you. The sole of the foot pops up and then start to guide that back foot away from you, inch by inch, bringing the knee down, just noticing where it feels good to stop and you start to feel that stretch in the left hip. Again, pad under that left hip if there's a lot of space there and you're feeling tight, or bend the back knee, turn to the right, and sit down this way. And then wherever you are, you can start to walk the blocks away from you and breathe into the stretch. Okay. So honor your hips, honor your knees. There's no need to overstretch. It will only cause you pain later on, and that is counterproductive. And it's also a teacher to let us know that maybe we went a little bit too far. That's okay. It's just telling us, our bodies are telling us what is available to us. Okay. So if you're in the the back leg extended version of Kapotasana, maybe it looks like this. Resting pigeon. We're getting that nice compression against the thigh again. That's stimulating, massaging the solar plexus area. And then when you're ready to come out of this pose, slowly walking yourself up. If you want, you can stretch it back to downward facing dog one more time. You can use the blocks or not. I really like the blocks, so I just keep them. I really like the thick blocks. They're thicker than your usual blocks, a little bit more stable. Breathe into the stretch, finding more space in the torso, in the pelvic area, stretching into the backs of the legs. If you want to paddle the feet, do so, and just breathe into that stretch, one leg at a time. So slow. Bring the knees down. Eventually, we'll meet in child's pose. Take your time here. Use the blocks or get rid of them, or maybe you'd like a pillow instead. Make a pillow with your arms, with your hands, and take a moment to rest. Feel your body breathing. And just let the whole body and mind settle a little bit along with the breath. Okay, coming up this time with legs outstretched. One more, one more pose before we settle into relaxation. I like to use a little pillow under my hips. Hi there. And oh, okay. Well, I need this space, little one. Hi. Okay, it's fun doing yoga with animals if you have pets at home. All right, so legs out in front, coming into Dandasana. No, do not scratch my yoga mat, Miss Nadi. Okay, legs outstretched in front of you. Give the knees a little bounce here. Sitting up as tall as you can. That's why the pillow is helpful. It's helping to roll the hips forward, drawing the belly up and in. Mhm. Taking a few breaths in here, in and out. We'll take the arms out in front on an inhale, and then on the exhale, open the arm out to the right. Keep breathing. Flex the feet and press both feet forward. Draw the belly up and in. And breathe. If you want, you can bring the hand down behind the back. And this arm, we're going to reach towards this opposite leg. Careful not to pull yourself into this twist. Another variation is to grab onto the right foot if you're facing towards the right and gently lift as you twist. Keep pressing both feet forward. You can also grab onto the ankle or the shin, calf muscle, what is available, whatever is available. Focus on opening the chest and reaching that arm behind you. You can even lift the arm and reach, reach, reach. Wringing out the whole abdominal area in this twist. This knee can be bent here. Good. Breathe into this. A little bit of teeter-tottering happening here. That's okay. And then slowly release the twist, release the leg, come back to staff pose, Dandasana. Relax the shoulders, find a tall spine, belly in. Inhale, bring the arms forward. Exhale, and we'll open the left arm out and away. Looking towards the back hand if that's comfortable. Good. Sitting down, pressing both feet forward, drawing the belly up and in. Again, the option is to grab onto the left leg and lift it gently. This knee can bend here. Okay, if you can reach the foot, you can also bend that knee as you reach for the foot and then look back as you reach back or arm down to the ground if that doesn't feel good on the shoulder. Keep stretching across the chest, breathing into this twist. One more breath. And then exhale, release the twist, drop the arm. Gently drop the leg. Maybe you'd like to come into a forward fold here. Bend the knees a little bit. The torso comes down towards the thighs. That's very much our focus of our practice today. And breathe into or towards the thighs. The back can be rounded. The back of the neck is long. Release the head and the neck. Some gentle head movements here. Slowly rise as you lengthen the legs. And now we'll settle down into a short relaxation. Come onto your back, roll onto your back if that's your favorite position. for Shavasana, I'm going to demonstrate crocodile pose for a belly down Shavasana. And I like this because I can breathe into the support of the ground. And that helps to create a little resistance training for your diaphragm, strengthening the diaphragm. And no need to do this forcefully, just breathing into the abdominal area. Feeling the ribs flare open on the inhale and then exhale to release. Take a few moments in this quiet to rest your senses. Another great thing about crocodile pose is that you can make a pillow with your hands or use a pillow. Place your forehead down and look down towards the ground. And that can be very cooling for the eyes to close the eyes or just to look towards the darkness underneath you. Slowly coming back up. Take your time, maybe stretch it out any way you'd like. We'll stretch the hips just a little bit here by wagging the knees from side to side. Nice, easy roll of the knees. Hands support behind the back. Good. Now, the next time the knees come over to the right, we'll bring the left arm up to reach up and over. That right arm stays in a supportive roll behind you. Stretching this whole front body, stretching into this quadricep here too. Pressing that supporting knee down and then over to the other side. Bring the knees down. This arm supports behind the body. This arm, the front arm reaches up and over. Press this knee down to stretch that front quadricep. You can look down towards your back hand if that feels comfortable on the neck. One more breath here and then release on the exhale. Beautiful. Now ending with a little pranayama. I always include some pranayama. It is my favorite. And it's a great way to work with the subtle anatomy of our body or the energetic um, anatomy of the body. That being one of those is the one aspect of the subtle body. A very big one is the chakra system. So we're focusing on the solar plexus, which is a very fiery place in the body. And depending on how your solar plexus is balanced, you may need more heat, you may need less heat. So you may intuitively know if you tend to build more heat in this area, or if you feel like you're a little slow or sluggish or cold and you need more heat. So, depending on what that is, um, we have solar Bhedana to increase the heat, and we have Chandra Bhedana to cool that heat. So, and if you're not sure, just try both and see how that feels. So, for solar, we'll start with solar Bhedana, and that is increasing the fire. We're just going to take our pointer finger and block off the left nostril and breathe in through the right. Exhale, breathe out through both nostrils. Inhale, right nostril. Exhale, blow it out of both. You can also experiment with inhaling through your right nostril and then exhaling left nostril, blocking the other nostril. Just using the pointer fingers. In through the right again, out through the left. This is solar increasing, heat increasing. If you want to use a particular mudra, you can use your first two fingers and place them on the third eye and use your thumb and your ring finger to block the nostrils. I don't want to do that right now because then you can't really see what I am doing, but that is one option. Use the thumb and the ring finger. Now for Beta Chandra, for Chandra Bhedana, you'll use the left nostril. So same thing, just block off the right nostril this time, inhaling through the left. And you can exhale out of both nostrils, or you can switch over to the right as you exhale. Inhale through the left. Exhale through the right. At this time in your practice, you might feel like you need to blow your nose. If you're feeling some gunk in there, this is a good time to blow your nose and get that stuff out. Now, if we're going to use the mudra, you can also keep the fingers down towards your palm and use the thumb on the right nostril. Breathe in through the left. Switch nostrils, use the ring finger to block the left and exhale through the right. Again, like that. This is very soothing, calming, but it's also clearing. So we're clearing this subtle channel that helps us receive energy. So it's really important for these channels, these nostrils to be open. If you feel like they are constantly congested, that means that perhaps you should use the neti pot to clear mucus and accumulations out of these channels so you can get more prana or energy. Really, really important. Okay, so now before we go, just a couple rounds of Nadi Shodhana where we're alternating between both channels, both nadis. So we'll start, if you want to use the mudra, we'll start with thumb against the right nostril. Inhale through the left. Gentle pause at the top as you switch nostrils. Exhale right. Inhale right again. Gentle pause to switch. Exhale and exhale left nostril. Relax the shoulders, sit up nice and tall. Inhale left. Switch. Exhale right. It's hard for my eyes not to close when I do Nadi Shodhana. Inhale right. Smooth, slow breaths. Exhale left. We'll do one more round like that. Inhale left. Gentle pause at the top. Exhale right. Let it go. Inhale right again. Switch. Exhale left. Drop the hand. Take a few moments in quiet contemplation. Just notice the effects of this type of pranayama For solar, Bhedana, increasing heat. Chandra, Bhedana, decreasing heat. And then alternating between the two to balance both channels of prana. Nadi, Shodhana, Nadi meaning Nadi, meaning channel. Shodhana is purification. This is a cleansing, breathing exercise to detox, but also open and invite more energy. And see if you can get a sense of your energy levels at this time. And maybe there's a sense of heat or of cooling, depending on which channel you worked with. And notice if that feels right for you. And if not, maybe you work with the opposite channel. And just know that every day, from day to day, one channel may be stronger than the other. One nadi, and to work with balancing hot. So if we feel excessively hot, to work with cooling. And if we feel cool or sluggish and slow, then work with heat, with increasing heat. Just bringing an intuitive aspect to your practice and ending on a balancing note. Very, very important. Ayurveda teaches us, a sister science to yoga, to balance our energy from day to day, depending on how we feel. Bring hands together in front of heart center. If you want to join me in a gesture of gratitude, bow your head towards your hands, towards your heart. Take a moment to honor yourself. Thank yourself and give thanks for all that there is, all beings, the whole of Earth, the whole universe, the abundance of the universe, of all the elements, the spirit of this consciousness of all beings that we share among us. We give thanks for this life flow of energy that binds us together, that brings us together, that makes us one big family. In other words, we close our practice with a mantra, with the Sanskrit word namaste. It means that I bow to the light within you, that same light that shines within me. We are connected. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm Heather Burkart with Her Wellbeing, Ayurveda, and Yoga. If you're looking for more resources, more holistic solutions for your holistic lifestyle, you can go to my website, herwellbeing.com, so that you can find supportive practices like this that you can practice throughout the month. You can honor the full moon, you can honor the new moon, and the many ways that you're showing up throughout your cycle of the month, throughout the lunar cycle. So join me again for more practices, Ayurveda, yoga, meditation, pranayama, to support you, body, mind, and soul. Namaste.